All right, welcome in. So today's question is about possession. What does it mean when we refer to a possession date, specifically possession after closing?
This is Real Talk in 60 seconds, providing quick, simple answers to your everyday real estate questions.
That is referring to the date at which the seller will give possession over to the buyer. If it's possession after closing, that means that they're going to stay in the property, continue living in the property, or continue having possession of the property until the day that they agree on. It's fairly common here in Central Ohio for us to allow for a couple days, maybe a week of possession after closing. This gives the seller time to move out, time to close on the property, get their proceeds, and then move out of the property. Occasionally, the seller may ask for a longer time period, which we'll talk about here in a second. Now, there's a couple things that you should consider if the seller would like possession after closing. You want to ask them to do three things. One, maintain their homeowners and liability insurance. Two, maintain the utilities. And then three, deliver the property in the same condition that you would expect it to be delivered in if you were to close at the time or give possession at the time of closing. Essentially meaning they won't damage or destroy or destruct the property in any way during that extended possession period. And yes, those are all simple things that we would expect the seller to do, but it's a smart idea to have that in writing in a separate clause or a separate addendum. Now, an extended possession period we would actually probably call a rent back period. And so it's recommended that if it's maybe more than a few days, more than a week, that we actually get a formal, maybe a simple but formal lease agreement in place that states the seller is actually renting the property back from the buyer for that time frame. Now, it doesn't mean that the seller has to pay rent. That could be negotiated on, but it doesn't mean that has to happen. All it means is that there is a legal agreement in place that protects both parties. So there you have it. That is what possession and specifically possession after closing means.